Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Going the Distance. This is episode 69. Can you believe we've done 69 episodes? I can't, but I want to welcome the new members who are just joining me for the first time, and I want to welcome back the members who've been joining me from the beginning. Your support is greatly appreciated. So before we get started, hit that thumbs up button and like the video. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. So we're going to talk about some college football today, some NFL. We've got the UFL scores and predictions, and we've got the NCAA March Madness. We have a Final Four in that, so we'll get into that too. So let's jump into it. So first, we're going to talk about college football and Stanford. And Stanford hired Frank Reich as their interim head coach. Now, that's interesting because Andrew Luck is athletic director of Stanford now. So he played under Frank Reich in the NFL. Andrew Luck was drafted, played college ball at Stanford under Jim Harbaugh, and then got drafted into the NFL to the Indianapolis Colts. And one of his last years in the NFL, he played under Frank Reich. Well, then Andrew Luck retired, went off and did his own thing, and Frank Reich coached there another year or two, and then he got fired, and we haven't really heard anything from him lately. Well, now Andrew Luck's brought him to Stanford for an interim head coaching job, which he might end up being really good in the coaching. So let's see how he does with that. So moving on, we're going to talk about, we got some NFL news, and John Harbaugh, the coach of the Baltimore Ravens, reached a 3-year contract extension as Ravens head coach. Now, he's already been there. He'll be entering his 19th year, which means at the end of this year, at the end of his contract, he will have been with them for 23 years if he stays there that long. But now that they've locked down John Harbaugh as their head coach, now they're looking for an extension for Lamar Jackson. And as far as I see, Lamar gets that extension. He deserves an extension for sure. But he hasn't won the big game yet. He's gotten close, but had never won it yet. I still see him able to win that big that Super Bowl. But as far as I see, the next big extension, comes after he wins the Super Bowl, which could be next year. Who knows? But if they want to sign him to an extension, sign him to a little mini one, maybe 2 years, and then he goes to the Super Bowl, then you extend him farther. Yes, he's getting old, I understand that, and his career's winding down, but that's how I see it. Speaking of extensions, the Raiders and Geno Smith are in talks about contract extensions. Now, Geno Smith is another old timer. In fact, I thought last year was going to be his last season, but apparently not. And he's going to be the quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders. So we'll see how well that does. He did really good in Seattle. So I don't have high hopes for Seattle this next year because they've got Sam Darnold. They traded away DK Metcalf. They got rid of Tyler Lockett. I mean, they're doing a whole rebuild. I don't know what this coach is thinking, but apparently he's not. So hopefully Geno gets that extension, and with the draft coming up, Seattle can get some good players in the draft. Moving on, Bill Parcells is going into the Patriots Hall of Fame. Now, I looked this up. Bill Parcells went like 35-35. So his record was half when he was with the Patriots. He took them to a Super Bowl in '96, and that just set the groundwork for what the Patriots were in the 2000s. So congratulations to Parcells for making it into the Patriots Hall of Fame. There were a few other players I think I would have put in before Bill Parcells, like Rob Gronkowski, like Julian Edelman. And I know that's a part of that dynasty. And I understand that. And Bill Parcells was there before the dynasty. He was there when Drew Bledsoe was, big man on campus, before Tom Brady was the man. So, yeah, he set the groundwork, but there's a lot of other people I would have put in there before Bill, but congratulations, Bill. So, they had owners' meetings this last week, or the week before. And I didn't bring anything up because, it's the same thing every year. Rule changes, ban this, let's add stuff to this. Before it's over with, Goodell's going to have them playing flag football, tag football. Because you can't hit the quarterback at a certain spot. You can't do anything you can do. The last time, everything's penalized. But the reason I bring that up, sorry, y'all, I had to yawn. The tush push ban was tabled. Now, I want to talk about this for a minute because I've had people ask me how I feel about this. So, you don't call it the tush push. That's what Philadelphia called it. But what it really is a quarterback sneak. Because 9 times out of 10, the player with the football that they're pushing over the line is the quarterback. And you only do that when you're down to like the 1 yard line and you're pushing your way across, or you've only got 1 yard to go, for a first down. So that quarterback takes the ball and he sneaks through and gets in there. This whole tush push is ridiculous. They need to do away with the name and go back to quarterback sneak, because now, they're doing this. Philadelphia's been doing this when there's 5 yards to go. And and they're tush pushing Jalen Hurts over the 1 yard line. It's ridiculous. Just call it a quarterback sneak. And if you want to change it to only when it's a 1 yard line or 1 yard to go for a first down. And let's do away with the name. Let's go back to the old name. And that's how I feel about it. I mean, it's been quarterback sneak as long as I can remember. And if you really want to do away with something, do away with the 2-point conversion, because those are just ridiculous. And 9 times out of 10, they don't work. So if you want to do away with something, do away with the 2-point conversion. There, I said it. What do you guys think? Do you agree about the quarterback, the QB sneak? Because I'm not calling it the other name anymore. That's like calling the Commander. That's like calling the Redskins the Commanders. I'll always call the Redskins and put Commanders in quotes. It'll always be quarterback sneak to me, or tush push is how I'll do it. Or I might just say QB sneak. Who knows? But moving on, World Series pitcher Lance Lynn announced his retirement after 13 years in Major League Baseball. And I know I'm doing this on April 1st, so all this could be April Fool's stuff, but none of this is April Fool's. You're not coming here for April Fool's jokes at all. All this is just by the books, how we see it. So I looked at that and I thought, oh, it's April 1st. Lance Lynn is, retiring from the MLB. This ought to be, will it be April Fool's? No, he really retired. But he had a good career. Most of his career was spent with the Cardinals, and I love the Cardinals. So, congratulations, Lance Lynn, on a great career. And I can't wait to see what you do in retirement. So, moving on, we got the NCAA Final Four up now. But before we get to the Final Four teams, let's go to the scores. So on Saturday, we had Florida defeat Texas Tech 84-70. Not surprised. Florida was ranked number 1, and they're doing really good this season. Duke defeated Alabama 85-65. Again, not surprised. I actually think Duke's going to win it all this year. On Sunday, we had Houston defeat Tennessee 69-50, and Auburn defeat Michigan State 70-64. So, the final four teams are Auburn, Houston, Duke, and Florida. All four of these coaches, this is their first Final Four appearance. Is it the team's first Final Four appearance? No, just the coaches' first Final Four appearances. And out of those teams, and I will tell you right now how these matchups are going to be, because both matchups are going to be on CBS on Saturday, I believe. And when I get this up, I will let you guys know. Yep, both of these games are on Saturday. We have Florida at Auburn, both number one teams, and Houston at Duke. Again, two number one teams. So this year is going to be good because it's a matchup of number one teams, so we really do get to see who the best of the best is. In the past, it's been like number one against number three, or number one against number two, just to see who the best of the best is. And then you look at it as, oh, well, the number one team in the nation might not always win. Well, this time the number one team is going to win because all four teams are number one teams in their regions. So after Saturday, we'll have the Final Four set up, and I believe when I get the schedule to know when the national championship game is, I will let you guys know. But I'm just going to say right now, if Duke makes it past Houston in this weekend, I see Duke taking it all this year. So for the we're going to move on to the UFL. And on Friday, we had the Battlehawks defeat the Roughnecks 31-6. On Saturday, we had the Renegades defeat the Brahmas 33-9. Which is surprising because if you guys remember, I said last week in my predictions, I had the Brahmas defeating the Renegades because the Renegades really let me down last time. Well, the Renegades came out strong on Saturday. And then on Sunday, we had the Panthers defeat the Showboats 26-12. We had the Defenders defeat the Stallions 18-11, which was surprising because the Stallions are the defending champs, and they went undefeated last year. Well, they're not going undefeated this year. They've already lost. So, congratulations to all the winners this week. It's going to be a good season. I just know it is. And we are going to look up the predictions for week 2. And, if you guys want to follow along and comment y'all's predictions, I would really appreciate that. That way we can make this, a comparison of, we can make this not a competition, but see how we do in our stuff. So for week 2, we have the Stallions at the Panthers. I'm picking the Stallions. We have the Showboat. Oh, that's on Friday night. The Stallions and Panthers are Friday night on Fox. On Saturday, we have the Showboats and the Defenders at 8 o'clock on ABC. I'm picking the Defenders. And then on Sunday, we have the Roughnecks at the Renegades at noon on ESPN. I'm actually picking the Renegades in this one. And at 6:30 on Fox Sports 1, we have the Brahmas at the Battlehawks, and I'm picking the Battlehawks. So, if you guys want to put y'all's predictions in the comments, I'd really appreciate that. And then, when we do next week's show, we can compare how we did. But that's all I've got. for sporting news this week. So now we're moving into the who we're listening to segment. And who are we listening to? We're listening to Rascal Flatts. They're a country group out of Nashville, Tennessee. They formed in '99, and I found out about them around '99 with their "Praying for Daylight" and their self-titled debut album. They've had 10 studio albums, 40 singles, 39 music videos, 2 compilation albums, 2 live albums, and the new album, in fact, I think that's in this 10, is Life is a Highway, the Refueled Duets. Now, this is interesting that we would be doing, I'd be doing Rascal Flatts this week, because they broke up back in a few years ago, like back in 2021, 2022. And honestly, I think that's because of their touring schedule and how it was so grueling for them to be on, to tour. They've had 10 albums, 9. And I think what they would do is they'd release an album, they'd tour for a few years, they'd record another album on the road, and then they'd turn around and go back out on tour. So they just got burned out. But now they've had some time to, breathe, spend some time with family, and just, enjoy life out off the road. And they're back with, they formed again last year, and they're releasing Life is a Highway Refueled Duets. And they've already released a couple singles, and I think those singles are pretty good. My favorite album from theirs is their third album, Feels Like Today. It's a great album. It's got songs like Fast Cars and Freedom, Sarah Beth, and every song on that album's a good album. So what I want you guys to do this week, and what we're listening to, and what song we're listening to, is going to be the album Feels Like Today. So I want you guys to listen to that album. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know y'all's thoughts on the show today. What do you think of Harbaugh's extension? Should Lamar get a bigger extension? What are y'all's picks for the UFL? All that type of stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I did. Thank you guys for going the distance with me, and we'll be back next week with more predictions and scores and news. Hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, and I will see you guys next week. God bless. Love y'all.